Welcome once again, humans and my other friends, to Creepy Cheapies with Dr. Lady. I'm Bozo Melonhead here at the Library of Horror Hotel, and once again it's time to take a look at one of the best quality, reasonably priced masks of the current day. This particular monstrosity is called simply the Bald Demon. And if you're wondering, gee, why is he called the Bald Demon? Well, I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess that maybe it's because of his lack of hair. Yeah. Now this same creature was already brought to life back in the 80s by Don Post Studios. They called him Nightmare. So back then he was just called Nightmare. Today he's called Bald Demon. The Don Post version was a lot smaller than this. The head was rounder and it didn't have all this neck and chest and bib stuff going on. It was just smaller and simpler. This one was put out in the year 2015 from the folks at, who made you? Oh yeah, he says it was Trick or Treat Studios. You sure? Yeah, he's pretty sure. Trick or Treat Studios, the 2015 edition. And I think it's better than the Don Post version from back in the 80s. Now I like that one too. It was scary and everything. Let's just zoom in here for you. Get a good look at this very dramatic face. As featured in the movie An American Werewolf in London, which you've probably seen that movie, right? If you're a horror fan. What? You haven't seen it? Okay, he hasn't seen it. You're in it, you know. No, he didn't know that. He doesn't remember it back then, but he'll have to watch it now. Man, that changes everything when you find out you're in the movie, right? Anyway, American Werewolf in London, which came out back in the 80s, had a dream sequence involving a bunch of monsters, of which this guy was one. Okay, and the originals, designed and sculpted, created by Rick Baker, legendary makeup artist for lots of horror movies. This particular one, sculpted for the Trick or Treat edition by an artist named Russ Lukic, who I think really nailed it, really did an outstanding job. The dream sequence has a bunch of just random demonic werewolf, zombie, ghoul monsters come into a house and just start killing people indiscriminately and just wipe out the family. And it's just a dream sequence in the movie, but it's scary. Even though, you know, the guy wakes up and you see that it didn't really happen like that, it's creepy enough that it leaves a pretty indelible image with a lot of viewers. So these were monsters who really frightened people back in the 80s, and the sequence is still pretty upsetting and scary because these guys are so nasty and brutal and creepy. Now the mask here has nice glossy teeth and lips and eyes. The eyes, as you can see, have black eyeballs with red and yellow smudgy irises, and then the pupils are cut out. So when you're wearing this, where you're seeing out of is those big black pupils, those dots in the middle of his eyes. As I pointed out before, you get a pretty decent amount of bib action here, and enough to work it into a costume easily, certainly. And this poor guy thinks, he feels sorry for himself because nobody gives him a good name. First he was Nightmare, and now he's Bald Demon. Why can't anybody come up with a really cool name for this guy that gives him some real identity, you know? He doesn't know. He feels bad. And you know, as a guy who's gone through life and afterlife with the name Lady, I know how he feels. I can relate to his woe at that. Whoa. Anyway, available from Trick or Treat for about 60 bucks, I do believe. Highly recommended. Very scary Bald Demon, as seen in American Werewolf in London. And by the way, there are two other demons also from that same dream sequence from American Werewolf in London. There are two other masks also available from Trick or Treat. Oddly enough, there are 4 monsters in the scene in the movie, and everybody, Trick or Treat and Don Post actually, just seems to have cared about 3 of them. What's the deal with that poor 4th monster? You know, you think you don't get enough love in the monster world. At least you've been brought to life as collector edition masks twice now. That poor guy, I don't know what he did. Maybe he angered the producer.